Early signs your relationship with an avoidant won't last. At the beginning of a relationship with an avoidant partner, everything can feel surprisingly intense and confusing at the same time. They might seem interested, charming, and emotionally intriguing, yet something always feels slightly out of reach. One of the earliest signs that a relationship with an avoidant partner may not last long is inconsistent emotional availability. In the first few weeks or months, they may show bursts of affection, long conversations, deep eye contact, even future plans, but then suddenly pull away for no clear reason. One day they seem fully present, and the next day they become distant, slow to reply, or emotionally cold. This push and pull dynamic isn't random. Avoidant individuals often crave connection, but the moment intimacy begins to feel real, their nervous system interprets closeness as pressure. Instead of moving closer, they instinctively create distance. If you find yourself constantly wondering where you stand or feeling like the emotional temperature of the relationship changes without explanation, this inconsistency is often an early warning sign. Another powerful early indicator is their discomfort with emotional conversations. In healthy relationships, partners gradually open up about fears, past experiences, and feelings. But avoidant partners tend to shut down these conversations quickly. When you try to discuss something meaningful, like how you feel about the relationship or where things are going, they may change the subject, make a joke, give vague answers, or say something like, "You're overthinking." This isn't necessarily because they don't care. For avoidant individuals, emotional depth can feel overwhelming, almost like a loss of control. Instead of leaning into vulnerability, they instinctively minimize or dismiss emotional discussions. Over time, this creates a dynamic where one partner keeps trying to communicate while the other keeps retreating, and that imbalance slowly erodes connection. A third early sign is their strong need for independence that feels almost defensive. Independence itself is healthy, but with avoidant partners, it often becomes exaggerated. They may frequently emphasize how much they value their personal space, routines, and freedom. You might hear phrases like, "I don't like feeling tied down," or "I'm just not the relationship type." At first, these statements can seem honest or even refreshing, but if independence consistently takes priority over emotional bonding, the relationship struggles to grow. Instead of building shared experiences, the avoidant partner may keep their life compartmentalized. Friends in one space, hobbies in another, and you somewhere on the outside edge. When someone resists integrating you into their life, it often signals a deeper fear of attachment. Another subtle but important sign is their reaction when you express normal relationship needs. Everyone needs reassurance, attention, and emotional presence from time to time. In a balanced relationship, these needs are discussed and negotiated. But with an avoidant partner, even small requests can trigger withdrawal. For example, if you say, "I miss you, we haven't spent much time together lately," they may interpret it as criticism or pressure rather than affection. Instead of responding with warmth, they might become defensive, distant, or suddenly busy. Over time, this creates a painful pattern where you begin to suppress your needs just to keep the peace. When a relationship requires one person to shrink their emotional voice in order to maintain stability, its long-term foundation becomes fragile. Another early warning sign is their tendency to keep the relationship ambiguous. In the early stages, clarity usually grows naturally. Labels, plans, and mutual expectations begin to form. But avoidant partners often keep things vague. Months may pass without clearly defining the relationship. When you ask about the future, they may say things like, "Let's just see where things go," or "Why rush labels?" While patience can be healthy, constant ambiguity often protects the avoidant partner from feeling committed. It allows them to enjoy companionship while maintaining an emotional exit door at all times. Finally, one of the most telling signs is how they respond when conflict appears. Conflict is normal in any relationship, but it also reveals emotional maturity. Avoidant partners often deal with conflict by withdrawing rather than resolving it. Instead of talking through misunderstandings, they may become silent, disappear for hours or days, or emotionally detach. This silent distancing can feel deeply confusing because it leaves issues unresolved while creating emotional uncertainty. Over time, repeated withdrawal teaches the other partner that problems cannot be safely discussed, which slowly breaks down trust and communication. None of these signs automatically mean a relationship is doomed. People with avoidant attachment styles can grow and build healthy relationships when they become aware of their patterns and are willing to work on them. But when these behaviors appear early and remain unchanged, they often signal a deeper attachment dynamic that can make long-term intimacy difficult. The most important thing is awareness. When you recognize these patterns early, emotional inconsistency, discomfort with vulnerability, defensive independence, withdrawal from needs, relationship ambiguity, and avoidance of conflict, you gain the power to decide whether the relationship is truly capable of meeting your emotional needs. And sometimes the greatest act of self-respect is recognizing that love should feel like connection and security, not like constantly chasing someone who is always one step away.